Good morning. Welcome to another living world of dark. No, wait. This is no new serum. Oh my God, my brain's fried. New serum. Bianca is arriving to her friend Beatrix to pick up a dress that she put in an order for some time back. A beautiful dress that will earn her points, hopefully, in court and spur some jealousy of a few toreadors. At least that's the hope. Knowing that this is her shop, she'll open the door, come in.
Yeah, well, there's a bell that rings when you enter. Someone hears you. You hear a voice. Someone said, "Coming," and they kind of walk in. You see her, which you assume is her assistant, probably Ghoul Luann, who waves. Oh, Bianca, so good to see you.
Good evening, my dear.
Come in, come in, come in. Your dress is in here. It's on a mannequin, but you can try it on too. I'll let Beatrix know you're here.
That would be lovely, my dear. Thank you.
She kind of motions for you to go to well, if this was a regular house, it'd be a living room, but you know that just about every room in this house has been converted into some sort of sewing room. You go into the living room, and in the corner, you see this beautifully, I suppose it was embroidered. You're not quite sure from the distance, but it seems to be a beautiful, almost, how would you describe it, velvet red dress, with a very intricate, what looks like animal or bird patterns that have been sewed into it. It's kind of, it goes across the shoulders. Your shoulders are bare just a little bit. There seems to be a type of cloak or shawl, or it's very long and this really thick cloth. You take a look closer at the dress, you can see all the fine beading and decoration that was done, I guess, suppose, on what would be called maybe the bodice, but you notice that it's not actually corseted. Again, you see birds, motifs, maybe a little bit of plant vegetation here and there, all sewed in with what looks like gold thread or goldish type of thread, and then cinched off the waist with a, well, it doesn't really look like a belt because when you pick at it, it's attached, but it's sewn in to suggest a belt. The sleeves are long and billowy, open, very wide at the hand. Again, the whole thing looks very thick, very, I guess you could say toasty, very plush. The skirt is very full, and at the ends you see more embroidering there. Accompanying with it is what looks like a blue cloak. It doesn't really have a hood. It doesn't attach to your dress at all, but it also has kind of like embroidery around the edge, something that you might throw over your shoulders just to make you look ever more warm.
She's going to take the time admiring this craftsmanship. This is stunning work. And
Oh yes, yes it is. You can see why the Toreador are jealous. Um, my descriptions are incredibly poor. You can run your fingers over it, and the cloth is incredibly soft. It appears that at least at the bodice part, it'd be form fitting to complement your figure. Eventually, you hear Beatrix's footsteps coming in with Luann behind her, and she walks in. Clearly, her mask is on, as she doesn't have her disgusting visage, but merely a very elegant looking lady, maybe a little bit out of her time. Oh, so I see you've seen the work.
it is amazing, my dear. Just absolutely amazing.
I'm so pleased. I made sure to make it, I suppose, a little bit more extravagant than it would be for the time. As you can see here, it's not corseted. Scratch made that error, I believe. Not that I believe the prince minds, but I think he can appreciate accuracy. At least I'm in the same century.
Of course.
She kind of runs her hands over the satin. Of course, it's or velvet. I keep saying the wrong words. It's a deep, kind of, I suppose, blood red, which is incredibly appropriate. I thought this color would go quite well with your hair and your eyes.
Oh, it definitely is my color, my dear.
And, well, I wasn't quite sure what sort of patterning that I would use, but since we're not fans of Toreador, I avoided roses. She kind of
I
runs her fingers
appreciate
over
that.
she kind of runs her finger over like the bird motif, or all the little birds all over it. These sorts of patterns were pretty popular back in those days, especially if you were a well-to-do lady. Technology these days can make you achieve so much more than what they could. So I figured if you were a modern lady, at the very least, you could take some advantages. Otherwise, this dress is very typical of the time. Full skirt. I suppose I could have gone simpler, but why not go big or just go home? Would you
It's
like to try it
definitely.
on?
Oh, I would love to, my dear.
She begins to, it seems like unclasp. It looks like there's buttons in the back. Unclasp the buttons in the back. Luann, please help me. Luann takes her place as she steps back. She points to like a screen over in the corner of the room where you can go change. Um, and kind of brings you there, kind of walks you over there to change into your dress. I'll leave you to change if you need me to help button you up. Just let me know.
I will do, my dear. And when she's behind the screen, taking off what she wore in and
There's
get
like
into
a
this.
there's like a chair and table you can set, like, if you have a purse or jackets or clothes, you can fold them up and put them on there easy. Not a problem.
She will do that then. If not, she was just going to lay them over the screen if it was like one of those folding screens. So on a
Hmm.
table's fine. And she will put on this gorgeous, exquisite, stunning dress.
You feel it. It seems like even the cloth might be a little bit ahead of its time. She cheated in other places. As you slide it on, it feels really smooth and soft against your skin. The fabric has a slight sheen to it, but not so much that it looks completely out of place. Of course, it's really heavy. You think that if you were a person who cared about the temperature, you might get a little warm in this dress. When it goes off the shoulders, your with your hair, if it's kind of short, like I see depicted in the pictures, it shows off your neckline very, very nicely. Luann doesn't really wait for you. She suggested that she would help you if you needed it, but she goes ahead and kind of pops in once you're almost on there and immediately starts buttoning you up in the back. It seems to fit really nice. Luann did a good job of taking your measurements. Come on, come out. I'm sure she wants to see it on you.
And she will pick up the front to make sure she doesn't step on it because that's usually what happens with really long skirts.
Yep, it's not so long that you'll trip on it, but pulling it up doesn't hurt, especially if you're just barefoot right now.
Hmm.
Um, you kind of walk out, and Beatrix just stands you. She looks very pensive as she's looking at you. She doesn't really smile at first. Her eyes kind of narrow a bit as she looks at you. So pretty. But then she just kind of snaps out of it. Well, I was convinced that Miss Luann mismeasured your bust line. But it looks like it fits so well. I didn't realize that you were, excuse me, that large.
Yes, I've always been a bit well endowed, to the detriment of my gymnastics teachers.
I see. Well, if you have it, why not? She just kind of observes you looking around a bit. Just carefully looking at it. Every once in a while, you can feel her tugging on like the dress, seeing if she's like, straightening out or something. Yes. Yes. Very good. I'm glad this looks wonderful on you, as I knew it would. I hope you wear it to the next court meeting.
That's my intention, my dear.
Hmm. Well, would you like to sit down in your dress? Would you like to change back in your clothes?
I should probably spend a little bit of time getting used to it so I don't go stumbling on my face in court.
Of course. She kind of points to a padded chair, which you see like maybe like grandmas have in their sewing room. It's decorated with like floral decorations and stuff, little kitschy. She kind of points to it, and she to a small table. You half expect her to like order some tea and something, but she kind of sits across from you. She places her hand on the table. Well, what have you been up to, dear?
Mostly losing myself in work, unfortunately.
Hmm,
Seems that's where my attention's been.
I see. Well, you may want to consider refocusing your attention. I did my best to convince the Whisperer to bring you along with the negotiations, but he's been very stingy with his new title. But that was not for nothing. I found out quite a few things you might want to know that may help you about this.
Is that so?
Yes. The prisoner, of course, is in the hands of the Giovanni. The trade hasn't happened yet, so if you wish to approach the Whisperer, or, God forbid, the Giovanni yourself, you can still do so. The Whisperer was very concerned that I thought it was quite foolish, but he's very concerned about his reputation on this one. He was a little bit embarrassed in court the other week.
Is that so?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was embarrassing. I suppose he was fine. The Don himself showed up asking him when this negotiating was going to happen. In any case, if you wish to try to convince the Whisper yourself personally, you certainly can, but I recommend you have something to bring to the table when you do so. And I don't mean, just your servitude. I mean actually something.
Yes.
I hear you're
Something to bring.
quite a fan of Freda Carlo.
Artist, right?
Mm. On the other hand, I also found out that Jameer really wants this person of interest very badly. Another reason why he was holding this so close to his chest.
Of course. Well, they did have a thing getting every last one of the Sabbat members of their clan. Not surprised they'd want any that are still left around.
Do forgive me, dear, but I'm not quite sure why you wanted this prisoner, so I didn't say. But perhaps I should ask now.
That wound on my back, he's the one that wielded the sword.
I
Chef
see.
says that to remove the wound, I need his blood.
I see. Well, I don't know how well this will work as well, but perhaps you could approach them. Again, though, I wouldn't approach them without something to bring. It might work. I cannot say for sure. I've never been quite sure what to think of them. So mechanical.
Yes, they're very methodical in their methods.
Yes, and that's what I've noticed as well. Unfortunately, I don't have a very good tactic to deal with them, but I figured I would mention it to you. All I can tell you is that you're not too late, and I do apologize that I was unable to convince him.
It's all right, my dear. Everyone's a little on edge with the changes the prince has made.
Hmm.
Not surprised he's nervous about his new position.
In any case, that's about all I can say.
Well, I appreciate the heads up.
Of course. I've missed you at court. I believe I have told several of the Toreador they couldn't have one of my dresses. I can't wait to see you show up.
It'll be quite the ruckus, that's for certain.
Yes. She just kind of smiles, and she has this very, I suppose wicked is the best way to put it. It's not, downright menacing, but you could tell she's being very mischievous. Is there anything I can offer you now? Any adjustments you need based looking at this dress?
And she'll stand up in it, take a few paces around, turning, twisting slightly in it, seeing how it fits.
Honestly, it should fit just fine. It seems actually a perfect fit. It snugs you in all the right places, like it was custom made, even.
I can't say that there's anything wrong with it. Seems perfect.
Let me get you a dress bag for it. And she kind of stands and heads to her back room. Of course, Luann's kind of standing in the doorway, just patiently waiting.
Bianca will head behind the thing to start changing out of it to give it to Luann.
Oh yeah, she
in the
helps you
back.
unbutton it immediately as you walk back, and then as soon as she thinks you can handle yourself, she removes herself from the screen.
Bianca then changed back into her clothes, passing the dress around to Luann after she has it off, so it doesn't
Luann
get
takes it. Oh,
dropped on the
sorry.
floor or anything.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, dear.
She
Uh,
just doesn't want it dropped on the floor or anything. So
Luann, takes it. When you kind of come out of the screen, Beatrix is already there. You can see Luann carefully packaging the dress in a protective bag. Well, I look forward to the next day at court.
so do I, my dear. So do I.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Not at the moment, my dear. That has been. You've been quite helpful.
I try, and if I hear anything else, I'll let you know.
I appreciate it.
She just kind of smiles.
There is one of the new Toreador, Annabelle's child. It seems to be more akin to my line of thinking and work than her own clan.
Mm, is
Likes
that
to
right?
carve people so far.
Carve them? That sounds awfully barbaric.
Just a few layers of skin, expose the red flesh underneath.
Uh, Beatrix looks, I don't know if disgust is the word, just really confused, I suppose. What an odd individual. The Toreador are typically odd, though, I suppose. Seems right up Annabelle's alley, I suppose. Didn't realize she was so macabre.
She has seemed a bit distracted more so than normal lately.
Hmm.
I had a
Well,
club the other night. She was talking with people and wandered off and just stared like I've seen them do their little staring bits at things. She just stared for so long.
I've heard of Toreador who were so entranced that they got fried in the sun.
I'm so glad that's not me.
Yes, I am glad it's not you as well. I don't know what I would do with myself.
Oh, I don't know. Sure, you could find somebody to entertain you. What sort of entertainment would you like? I'm sure I can help.
Let's just see how this dress goes. That might be all the entertainment I need for now.
I look forward to it. Bianca gives her own wicked grin at that.
Beatrix gives a little cheeky wink. Well, I suppose I have more dresses I should make. Maybe my next one will be even more wonderful, and they can envy over it. But she just kind of shrugs.
Oh, I'm sure they will, my dear.
No, if only I knew a tailor.
Taylor.
I could start dressing the men at the court as well.
I'll see what I can find.
If you find anything. If you don't, it's quite all right. I have eternity to find one.
I'll look into it.
And she just smiles. Go on, dear. Don't let me keep you.
Good evening, my dear. And she kind of blows a little kiss.
She just kind of smiles and nods. Luann will kind of show you to the door and open it. Okay, she's like a very awkward person, just kind of nervous and smiling a lot. She just kind of nods as you leave. Have a nice night, Miss Cassidy.
Good night, my dear. And with that, Bianca will leave. And if there's nothing else you want to do, we can end the scene.